Welcome back. Fast and Furious 7 topped the box office again this weekend, but for Nicholas Sparks fans, it was all about the longest ride. Our Matt Perrin is here with today's Monday Movie Musings.
Welcome to another Monday. Nothing is touching Furious 7 at the box office, but since I reviewed that last week, I knew I had a decision to make this weekend. Normally, I would rather chew on tinfoil than go see a Nicholas Sparks movie, being that I had a bad experience once directly centering around The Notebook. But since it was the only thing released this weekend, I knew I had to tough it out. Luckily, I found a lovely, kind-hearted woman to accompany me, so at least I wouldn't be the creepy/sad single guy in a chick flick. But without any further delay, here's my take on The Longest Ride. Our story begins with Luke Collins, a champion bull rider who is injured while riding the toughest bull on the circuit. We then skip a year into the future where we meet Sophia, a college senior about to graduate and take a dream internship in New York. After her friends convince her to go to a bull riding competition, she bears witness to the return ride of Luke. He wins the competition and they share a moment. Later, the two run into each other at a bar and phone numbers are exchanged. After much internal debate, Sophia accepts the date, and after a nice evening, while returning home, they see a wrecked car and manage to pull the driver out, along with a case that he won't leave behind. Ira, played by Alan Alda, is the man they saved. In his case were a bunch of letters he had written to the love of his life. A quick friendship blooms between Ira and Sophia, and she visits him every day and reads him his letters, all the while we, as the audience, watch the love story of decades prior unfold. In real time, the letters stir something in Sophia, and even though she's moving, she decides to start a relationship with Luke. Of course, the two different worlds collide and problems arise, especially when we learn that Luke's previous year injury may be more serious than he lets on. As their relationship roller coasters, we find ourselves way more interested in actually finding out the circumstances of Ira's long past story. So, overall, like all of the Sparks movies, the big question is, will love conquer all? So, okay, here we go. This is very obviously a Nicholas Sparks movie. Everything plays out so predictably that suspense never even enters the picture. Of course, what I'm talking about is the parts of the movie that you see in the previews. What saves the movie is the actual internal story revolving around Alan Alda's character. First off, he does such an amazing performance that is actually enhanced by the other stuff that you are forced to watch. The story about the cowboy and the sorority girl, it's just second fiddle to this internal story that's going on throughout most of the movie. In fact, whether or not she moves to New York, whether or not he quits the rodeo, or even whether or not he gets killed by a bull, it really just doesn't seem that important when you're trying to find out how this story that's been playing out over all these decades is actually going to end. So, in summation, if you're going to the theater to see this and you're running 30 minutes late or so, don't sweat it, because what you want to see doesn't happen till that far in anyway. But it is kind of fun to watch Clint Eastwood's son act in his first film and check out the similarities between the two of them. Well, this has been your Monday Movie Musing. Back to you.
So that's a guy's perspective on our so lovely Nicholas Sparks movies. We'll take that with a grain of salt. Your forecast is next.